All you ever wanna do is play. So let's play.
Yeah. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
Stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke,
Yeah, hey, well, we can hold the peace so we can wage war, but I'm gonna get what I came for. Rilla gang, that's a true name. We all graduated to the two-door. Sacred Global, that's an infrastructure. All y'all niggas like the Titanic. I'm the iceberg, talking no Zucker on the front lines, but we don't panic. Shit getting messy, got nothing to rest, and I'm tired of niggas. They front they blessings, they want my suggestion, but don't want the fee. I'm just doing me, I don't answer their questions. All this flexing, got no one to see. All this aggression, I just want some peace. Not even sure that I like it in heaven. I guess when we get there, then we gon' see. I do not understand, I do not get what you do. You only got one life, but you act like you got two. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with king, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. Hey, y'all some jokers, y'all a bunch of clowns. You will not get a laugh out of me. You can talk, but you can't denounce. I live a different theology. Why I transferred to a new account? You just fucked over a prodigy. Posted up with a rented crown.
You are the king and apology.
You about to see a new side of me, I hope you know. We stand up and watch our enemy go. Empires fall, my legacy grows. I might just hop on this melody flow. All this vision, no clarity though. Y'all play a game that I bear in my soul. Ebony, ivory, nobody knows. Business vasectomy, nothing can grow. Everyone promises more than they actually do. We don't deliver on anything other than truth. Yo, we go bigger than what you are willing to do. I run with kings, but you peasants, you run with the goons. Hey, we stay woke, but y'all sleep. Real mode, but y'all sheep. Out in public, she a good girl, but at the crib, she a real freak. New throne for the new king. Same kid, now my streets go. Same gang, got the cheat code. I said stay woke, we in real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode. I said stay woke, real mode. Stay woke, real mode.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Go to the fucking gym.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
How dare you!
Bye.
Your fat phobia?
No! No!
People are suffering. People are dying.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Whoa, normal.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 23 Hundo and 73 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swole, yo back with another episode. And today's episode of the Beastcast is brought to you, is sponsored by Everest and K2 Flex and on all
fucking Catalina one.
All right, fam, we are fresh off yesterday's roundtable that's available for listening inside Swole TV. If you missed it live, it was fucking awesome. So shout out to the entire Swole fam that was there during the roundtable. Make sure you catch that replay, motherfuckers. It is awesome. We are going to jump right into today's episode. Welcome everyone to the show. Hit that like button, subscribe, all that good shit, and let's get into that nut. We got a lot of tip to get into, and we're going to go super deep today. It's Fef after all. Let us get today's party started. Nah. I couldn't decide, so we have a little Fef riding the big old cactus, riding the dick draft. So we got a little both. We got Fef and we have dick draft. So you could drop whatever you want. I couldn't decide. I wanted to do both. We love us some dick draft, so I want to do DD, but of course it's Fef. And if you don't know what Fef is, it's a day in which we unsubscribe, unfollow, we delete, we block out the noise, go through your contacts on your phone, go through your Instagram follows, your podcast follows, your YouTube subscriptions. Of course, you don't want to unsubscribe from the Daily Swole. That'd be stupid. Don't remove the knowledge cock from your life, but block out all that nonsense that might be getting in your way. And I don't care if they share similar DNA. It's time to cut out that motherfucking noise. Happy Fef. And you could drop whatever hashtag you want in the comments. That would be appropriate for that. Now, fam, reminder, we have an overtime segment that will be going live immediately following today's episode. So make sure you are joining the fam today over at swolenormousx.com. You still have some time to join before we go into OT. Let me bring up that beautiful, beautiful thumbnail. We are doing that inside the private Daily Swole Telegram chat and Swole TV for members. So right at the end of today's episode, we're going right into overtime, and it's going to be lit like it always is, so don't miss out. swolenormousx.com. Join the fam right now. You still got time. To head over there and jump on a Fuck Your Resolution special and get in there for overtime. It's going to be lit. Now let's get into that motherfucking tip. Spit on it. Babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. Oh my God. We got our first post here from Brian. Brian showing us a goddamn meal fit for a king. Post-workout meal, 73/27 beef patties. I have never heard of that ratio. Did you do that yourself? Are you out there with like a scale, like a micro scale? It's 73% lean. Yes. Anyway, that's some nice fatty patties right there. Sweet potatoes, guacamole, unfiltered honey, Kerrygold Irish butter. Very nice, delicious, making everyone here hungry on the show. Fantastic. We got a post here from the Swole Fam discussion boards from Jordan. What's up, Beesh? Hello, my name is Jordan, and I'm excited to get going. I'm pretty active, but got fat over the years. I'm down almost 50 pounds, but still have a ways to go. That's what's up.
The little rascal has spirit.
Welcome to the fam, Jordan. All right, we got another intro. Brand new member to the fam, Matt. Welcome, everyone. Everyone that's new to the Swole fam, welcome, welcome. If it's your first live stream, drop some cherries in the comments down below. What's up, Swole fam? My name is Matt. I am a 28-year-old stay-at-home dad. I was in the Marine Corps for 10 years. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you for your service, motherfucker. Let's get a little America in the comments. Hell yeah. I finally just got myself back in the gym, partly because I've always been the small, skinny dude, and I'm tired of that, but also wanted to use the gym to help my mental health. I found Papa on TikTok, and it was one of his go to the fucking gym posts that got me off my ass. Looking forward to seeing progress over the coming months and getting to know everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
He's heating up
to the Swole fam. It works. Yelling at people on TikTok can make a difference. It's good advice only if you take it, right? It's good advice only if you take it. Why is he so mean to me? He's always making the same videos. People say that in the comments. And I say, because you still haven't gone to the fucking gym. You always make the same, oh my God. Yeah, you make the same videos. Then fucking do it. Shut the fuck up and do it already. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to keep on making the same fucking videos. Make me obsolete. You can't. I'm not going anywhere. Because guess what? You're going to have to go again tomorrow and the next day. You can get me off your back for one day, but then guess what? Tomorrow, I'm back. I'm back. I'm going to come back and skull fuck you again tomorrow. All right, we have one from Pina. Is that Pina or is it Pina? You couldn't do the Enye. I like it. Pina or Pina. In the discussion boards. Hey, Famzy. Well, I like it. I like it. Famzy. I'm Pina or Pina. I'm 54 and I hit the gym with a vengeance and determination daily and sometimes twice daily. It wasn't always like this, but after dropping 218 pounds. Wow. The gym is my fucking life. And it saved your life too. Time to kick this beach up a notch, and that's why I'm here. Going to the fucking gym has become my mantra. Papa Swolio hits the notes spot on. Wow. Wow. That's a nice shirt too. Got the Superman shirt. 218 pounds. And we're just talking yesterday in the round table that Heidi lost, what, over 250? Yeah, that's amazing. She's lost 218 pounds. She's lost half a fucking Lizzo. My goodness, that is amazing. Half a Lizzo, wow. Everyone. Holy shit.
You can be fat and be healthy.
That's impressive.
I'm sorry, Lizzo, healthier than I will ever be.
That's impressive. Man. Whew. That's the new measurement for weight loss. Half a Lizzo right there. Heidi's open Heidi was even topping that. That was like 0.6. That was almost like 2/3 of Lizzo. Amazing. Amazing. All right, let's do our last Swole fam post. We could just go all day with the Swole fam. We got another member brand new to the Swole fam, Steven. Hey, Swole fam and Papa. My name is Steven. I am 34 years old from Texas, but stationed in New Mexico. I am 13 years active duty Air Force. All right, I got to hit the pause again. Let's fucking go. America. Fuck yeah.
I am the danger.
All right, 13 years active duty Air Force. My career field is security forces or law enforcement. I am currently a weapons instructor. For the last 4 months, I have been on a training program with a company called Fit Responder. I really enjoyed the program and I'm down almost 30 pounds and I'm feeling like a new man. Someone posted a link to Papa Swolio's podcast one day and I thought it looked interesting. After my first listen, I was hooked and I've listened every day since. I loved the program I was on, but couldn't wait to join Papa and the Swole fam. I already started the Swole season. Ooh, jumping right in the deep end of the pool. And I'm loving it. Just wanted to say thank you, Papa Swole, for motivating me to go to the fucking gym every day. Looking forward to getting to know you all. That's what I'm talking about. Anyone else here? We got a lot of people here from Texas. Not sure if you're watching live, but we got a bunch of peeps from Texas, Christians from Texas. We got a bunch of members from Texas. Anyone else in November? Well, we are in Swolevember, but anyone else in New Mexico? Elizabeth, are you in New Mexico? Excellent. Excellent. Welcome to the fam. Super stoked. All right. El Paso. Very nice. Who said that? Who said that? Sean? Sean's in El Paso. Very nice. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, Elizabeth is in New Mexico. Solid. Super cool. All right, fam. So all those amazing posts were over there from members in the Swole fam. Most of you already know that, but check us out in the links down below, swolenormousx.com. Let's get into some knowledge cock, some more knowledge cock. Ask Papa Swolio in the comments to be featured. If you have a question, drop it with a hashtag AskPapaSwolio. And remember, if you want to submit a question, you can call in and go to askpapaswolio.com to call in. Let's take the first call let's take a call from Brittany. We got Brittany on the line. You are Schleifskis.
Hey, Papa. So my best friend is a gymnast, and he's got these massive arms, right? And I know he doesn't work out like strength train or anything like that. He just does like gymnast things. So I asked him, how'd you get your arms so big? Why are they so muscular and veiny? And pretty much all he said was, I do palm facing you chin-ups, right? He's like, it's pretty much like a whole body curl. And he said that's the best, most effective bicep exercise that he's ever known. And his arms are huge. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are on palm facing you chin-ups if you keep your body really still and just do pretty much like a curl with your body. I just did it in the gym, and my arms are fucking killing me. So I want to know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, I did them yesterday. A lot of times I start my back workout. Ring pull-ups are some of the... this was listed. It says Brittany. So I don't know. Maybe, I guess a dude can be named Brittany if that's actually your name or whatever. But yeah, ring pull-ups are great. And of course, your hands. And the thing is, when you're doing a pull-up with rings, they rotate, or you can rotate them. So it's like the supination. So it's another action for the biceps. And the reason why gymnasts often have big biceps is because even when you're doing, there's a lot of chest work when you're doing either muscle ups, when you're doing, I don't know all the names of the poses, but planches, you're doing like the iron cross, you're doing a lot of movements like that. Isometrically, you're using a lot of biceps because biceps also provide shoulder flexion. So anytime you're doing chest dips and things like that, depending on the position, or planches, you're activating the biceps isometrically or eccentrically or concentrically. So it's, when you're doing, oh, he's dreaming. I heard like a squeak. So when you're doing pull-ups, yeah, your legs might be a little bit more in front of you. I mean, it's great for the lats because of the angle. It's a lot different than doing a bar pull-up. So in terms of the best bicep exercise, anytime you say best, that depends on the individual. So if it's working well for you and you're feeling it a lot, yeah, then do it. And when you say he got really muscular and things like that, but he doesn't really lift weights, he's lifting weights. It's just resistance, and a lot of times if you're trying to put on a ton of mass, lifting weights or adding additional resistance rather than just doing body weight is important. But when you're doing a lot of exercises like that, and of course you're doing a lot of repetition, his muscles, his tendons, his ligaments have developed over years and years of practicing. A lot of times gymnasts may or may not have good leg development. A lot of times they don't, just because, you're doing all upper body. So it's easier for you to do a lot of these moves when you don't have a ton of mass on your lower body, like muscle ups and handstands and stuff like that, unless you really practice a lot and build up. But obviously you want to bias your physique towards what's going to help you perform the best. But yeah, gymnastics can be fantastic for things like that. So I would do it. I would implement it. And if it's working for you and develops your muscles and you feel great with it, then continue. If that's your goal, to build your biceps and you're feeling it a lot with that movement, then yeah, implement it. I like ring pull-ups just because, and you can do things, you can use like the Angles 90 grips. You could put other types of grips. I don't personally do a lot of just straight bar pull-ups anymore. I do a lot of dead hangs on a straight bar. You can do them with rings too, but I prefer to allow my hands, my wrists to rotate naturally. It's just better for your shoulders. It's better for your forearms, better for your wrist health, and it just feels better. So I prefer doing ring pull-ups now in comparison to bar pull-ups. And we've been talking about that. I've been mentioning ring pull-ups a lot lately. So that's been my go-to as well. So yeah, and it's one of those things where if you feel like you're getting a lot of results for it and you're trying to use it for bicep growth and you're feeling great with it, then continue it. But in terms of best, that depends. That depends. But that's the reason why a lot of gymnasts have that kind of development. But of course, gymnastics is a very high risk, and most gymnasts, they do it when they're younger, and when they get out, their ankles are fucked up and they have a lot of issues just because a lot of overuse. And of course, it depends on the quality of your gymnastics coaching. But when you're doing gymnastics, oftentimes you're doing it since you're little, and that's a lot of impact on the joints, a lot of impact when you're young and your joints are developing. So you can cause a lot of injuries too from gymnastics. And if most people, it's like football in high school. Most people don't play in college or go higher than that, and they just have lifelong injuries from full contact on, incompletely formed bones and stuff. And joints. Brenda, what's the minimum max rest time in between sets for total body awareness in primer week? There's no max. Obviously, max can be longer, but you can rest sufficiently. If you're doing more strength training, you should focus more on longer rest periods. If you're trying to do hypertrophy or strength, you want to rest like 3+ minutes. But if you're doing more endurance and stabilization, you can probably cut that down to a minute or two. There's really no minimum or maximum, but obviously, the shorter the rest periods, the less energy you're going to have for the next set, but you might also get more into those stabilizer muscles because you're more fatigued and you're doing stabilization training. So for stabilization, I would keep the rest periods a little bit shorter, but if you're doing more hypertrophy and strength, you increase the rest periods. Good question. Rihanna, would doing gymnastics and the like be good for mobility workout? It depends on what you're doing. Gymnastics is a very, very broad umbrella term. So doing bodyweight exercises, sure, that can be great. But gymnastics, like actually training, that can be a lot of impact and that can be very challenging. So it's not necessarily a recovery. But there are a lot of different ways to practice mobility. So it really depends on what exactly you're doing. Matthew, Papa Swole, I have a couple of bulging discs in my back. I've carefully worked my way up to deadlifts and I'm slowly increasing weight. Can you talk about how to properly size/use a belt when deadlifting? Well, number one, a belt's not going to prevent an injury necessarily. It might give you or help you provide a little bit more thoracic and, abdominal, pressure. But at the same time, you shouldn't be relying on a belt to increase your weights. You shouldn't be leaning on a belt. I would make sure that you are practicing your mobility in a big way, hip flexor strength, glute activation, if you're cleared for Jefferson curls and that kind of like full stretch and mobility type training to strengthen and lengthen these muscles, yoga and all these things are also very beneficial. But in terms of properly sizing using a belt, what's your question? I mean, there's different types of belts. I have an Inzer belt. I don't really use belts, honestly. I haven't in a while. I have one, but I don't use any of like those snap close belts. But it really depends on what your approach. I mean, I need a more specific question. I'm not a belt expert. I really don't rely on belts often myself. I have one, but I really don't use it. And that's just my opinion on the matter. A lot of times people use belts and actually compromises your ability to create that pressure yourself and strengthen your core enough. If you use a belt, I would personally only recommend it for your heaviest or sets to absolute failure. But in my opinion, for a lot of lifts, if you require a belt, it's probably unnecessary or the risk isn't worth the reward. And I'm just saying from personal experience, I have a belt. I haven't used it. I don't remember the last time I used it. But you don't want to you're not putting it on your lumbar back. You're putting it usually like just right above your belly button. And it depends. There's different types of belts. There's like the Velcro ones. There's like the snap clip ones. There's the buckle ones. There are different belief structures too when it comes to a belt. Tom Platz always said his use of a belt was really more of a guide, and you don't keep it actually tight. You keep it more kind of snug, but a little bit loose. And that just allows you to keep your upper body more like a piston to keep more upright during a squat. So he used it more as a guide rather than, trying to suck in and keep it so tight so you could barely breathe. So, there's different schools of thought when it comes to even belt use itself. Rihanna, Mr. Rihanna has knee strength issues. Is there a workout for things like squats to build up the sturdiness of the knee at 40? Have you been listening to any of our content, Rihanna, talking about knee health and mobility in the master classes and reverse sled pulls and stuff like that? I know you've been on the live calls. We just talk about it all the time. So apply all those principles. reverse sled. Check out the ankle, knee, and hip mobility master classes and apply those. And I would get a sled. Didn't you mention you got a sled? Start doing reverse sled pulls. Fantastic. That's the number one thing you should start doing, in my opinion. Let's see here. Pixie Dust. While losing weight, if someone makes a mistake eating junk, would you advise them to be more strict the next day or continue on the original plan? Proper eating has nothing to do with being strict. And if you're fundamentally changing your lifestyle, there is no making a mistake. You make a mistake eating junk. Like, why the fuck did you do that? I don't understand it anymore. And it's not like, I know these are addictions, but you're not going after your habits properly if you're making a mistake. Like, I made a mistake. Oopsies. I put that in my fucking mouth. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, you make a mistake eating garbage, then you're not prepared. I would advise them to, just to do it properly and to get back on it, of course. Be more strict the next day. Like, I don't understand what that means. Continue on the original plan. Have you done an elimination diet? Like, you shouldn't be falling off, but people are going to, so get back on it. But the problem is people use that as an excuse to continuously, oh, well, I'll just get back on it. I made a mistake. Oh, well, I'll just get back on the pony the next day. And then you constantly reinforce, like, hey, if I fall off, I can just get back on. Yeah, of course you want to get back on, but then you're justifying falling off in the future and, making those conscious. It's a choice. Like Cerny said, it's not a mistake. It's a choice. It's not an accident. You weren't, like, knocked unconscious and someone stuffed your face with burritos or something. So, yeah, definitely get back on it. That's without question. But I don't like talking about nutrition like it's strict. I don't find eating steak and avocados and fruit and honey and eggs and, like, I don't consider eating real food strict. People think of strict as like, oh, I'm eating bland chicken and plain broccoli. And yeah, of course, I would vomit if I ate that boring shit because you're not getting quality nutrition. Just some thoughts to think about it differently. Don't think about the problem. You're going to rebound. You're going to have a lot of failure if you think about eating as being strict. You're thinking about it wrong. Strict and dieting and that kind of mindset. We use the term diet because diet is just what you eat. So when you say elimination diet, it really means elimination process. Diet is what you're eating. When you say a stupid diet, that would be like a 1,200 day lemonade and maple syrup diet. Like, that's some stupid, like, it's still a diet. It's still like what you're eating. A diet is just the sum, what a human being eats. Everyone here has a diet, and everyone here has a little bit of a different diet per se. So it's the paradigm of people doing it wrong, everything in moderation, eating garbage. Most people don't really understand the toxins and the negative side effects that food has and the long tail effects that it has in someone's life. So if you think about it being strict, in my opinion, you're not thinking about it properly, because there's no fucking way a ribeye is strict. I'm strict sticking to my diet, eating steak. Like, I'm sitting here being strict. I'm just fucking feasting. It has nothing strict about it. It's just delicious, and I can't fucking wait to eat it. Ain't nothing strict about it in my mind. Grizzly, is that your go-to braid? Also, how do you wash your hair with it on without it coming undone? You don't wash your hair when it's in a braid. Is this my go-to braid? I guess. I mean, this is what the girl does, or Mama Swole does. I mean, this is not like, I guess there's different types, but I don't care. This is just I like it. This is what she's been doing. And you don't wash your hair in a braid. You shouldn't wash your hair too much, because then it's going to get dry, and the natural oils is good for your hair. Like, I only wash my hair maybe once a week or so. Like, this will be in a braid for a couple days, and then, because all I'm doing is I'm in the sauna a little bit, and then I might be in the cold plunge, and, I'm not really washing my hair all the time. You don't need to. It's not good for you. John, Papa Swole, I've been hungry as fuck lately. Same calorie intake and physical output. I usually have more control, but lately I've been ravenous. Sleep and hydration is on point. What the hell is going on? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not the same calorie intake and physical output. How do you know? Are you really tracking it? It's really hard to, unless you're being absolutely neurotic about what you're doing. It's really hard to quantify your caloric output. People, oh, look at my watch. My Apple Watch says I burnt this. It's not accurate, for fuck's sake, unless you're in a vacuum. You're in this like direct calorimetry. You're in this like room that's completely sealed off, and they're measuring exactly the heat exchange in the room. You know, your body processes are gonna be a little different. Has been everything exactly the same? Maybe you need more electrolytes. Maybe your hydration, you actually needed more. I don't know. Maybe you need more food and you don't realize it. Maybe you're building some muscle, right? Maybe you've been training really, here's the thing. Maybe you're training really well and you're actually breaking down tissue and building some muscle. So your resting metabolic rate, like what you're used to eating, increases. If you put on more muscle mass, you're going to need more food to maintain that, right? Maybe you need more protein. Maybe you think you were eating the same, but right? Yeah, sometimes you need a little bit more. Maybe it's really hard to, unless you're being so, yeah, I mean, our lives are not as consistent as we think they are. If you are a professional Olympia level bodybuilder and you really sleep at the same time, waking up and everything is so military, you're the same consistent because there's a lot on the line. That's all you do. You know, it's a lot easier to be like, oh, I am literally doing the same thing every day. But there's always a little bit, maybe you got a little bit more sleep, maybe you got a little bit less, maybe you drank 16 ounces less of water, and maybe you put on a little muscle, maybe. It's hard to really quantify that. Because remember, being hungry as fuck doesn't necessarily mean macros. It could be micronutrients. So it depends on how consistent you really were. And maybe, and here's another thing, maybe you weren't eating to maintenance. Maybe you weren't eating sufficiently for like the days or the week ahead, leading up to it. Maybe you thought you were, but you were a little under, and then it's kind of like compounded to your body. It's like, I am fucking hungry. Like you're trying to catch up and you didn't realize you were a little bit shy for the few days before. Frank, would you recommend Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as a supplement to strength training for mobility and endurance? I think it's great. I don't personally practice it, but I think it's fantastic. I think martial arts are fantastic, and jiu-jitsu is one of those things that are really foundational in terms of protection. It's very useful. Just keep in mind that there are a ton of, that's a whole new realm of injuries as well, and it's very challenging to implement martial arts and stuff with strength training because of the intensity, because the mobility, the cardiovascular components of martial arts with like the stiffness and the breakdown and the fatigue from strength training. And plus, when you first enter and you're a white belt and you're practicing, you're usually sparring and stuff with other white belts. And one of the issues, not an issue, it's just part of the growth and learning. And this is what I'm aware of because Mama Swole and her family, and, I have experience with it, some personally, but mostly just being aware of it and being in that environment, that a lot of white belts, they don't know their limits. So you have these submission holds and people go too far, and, you're with a lot of other people that are just beginning. So people don't really know the force that they're applying and X, Y, and Z. So just be aware of that. There are a lot of new, it's a whole different type of approach, which can be great. I mean, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying that it's very demanding on the body, and it depends on what you're really trying to accomplish. Are you like, what is your overall goal? Just be aware that it doesn't necessarily go hand in hand with strength training. It does. You could do both, of course, but at the same time, there may be some things that certain training protocols in terms of lifting might inhibit. So you might have to shift your training protocols and just be aware of that, because you have a lot of new stress, but also your training approach might adjust based on your schedule for how often you're doing that. And you might find that that's your new passion and you don't care about the same type of training you did before, and that's cool. So Depends on what you want to do. We have a lot of people here that might want to throw in on that. Just some things to keep in mind. I got into it a little bit. This is a while ago. This is probably, I would say, let me just throw out there, 10 years ago. I started off with some lessons and some classes, but it was negatively. I just felt like, okay, it just felt a lot more. I guess it wasn't right at the time. Otherwise, I would have continued with it because I have a very, I don't want to say necessarily obsessive, but if I get into something, I go all in. So it just wasn't the time. I don't want to say, oh, I should have stayed with it. If I really wanted to, I would have. But at the time, I saw it as, what's the right word? It was compromising I foresaw it compromising my main passion, which was strength training and lifting and doing that. So it didn't hook into me at that time. Freddie, Papa Solia, we'll take one or two more questions. How do you cook your eggs? Is there a better way or more just how and what you cook with them? I mean, a better way. I would consume them how you like. If I do cook them, I prefer like over easy, or I'll just eat the egg yolks raw and ditch the whites. So if I have them raw, I'll usually just have just the egg yolks. But if I do cook them, it'll be like over easy or sunny side up, something like that. We also I like hard-boiled eggs. I just like eggs. Hard-boiled eggs are fantastic. If you cook them properly, I cook I cook a savage hard-boiled egg. A lot of times people overcook the shit out of them. I get them so like the yolk is just like super moist. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's almost like sunny side up inside the yolk. It's so good. It's so good. Now I'm getting hungry. Rihanna, is there a better or worse sled to get? Like from Amazon will do? Yeah. Yeah. Get one of those like Titan ones. Just get one of those Titan flat sleds and you can put weights on top. You can put some plates on there. You'll probably want to start with like a 25-pound plate. Is there something in the shop on the site, like on Amazon? I don't know if I have the sled on the store, but you can get a sled from Titan Fitness on Amazon. It's like, if you have Prime, it's free shipping, or on Titan Fitness, it's like $90. And then you can get a belt. You can use any type of belt. Like you can use any kind of, I have a Spud belt. Those are a little bit more expensive, but the quality is unmatched. You can just get any kind of like dip belt. I would recommend that rather than like an upper body harness. And it's like it goes around your waist and can just clip on with a carabiner to the sled and you can pull it backwards. Oh, that was all right.
I give it a 10. A 10. A fucking 10.
Settle down now. I appreciate that. All right, let's get into another phone call. We got one more from Jeremy. You're on the sleaziest sleazecast in the realm.
Yeah, Papa Swole, brand new listener. Loving the stuff. My question is your take on body dysmorphia and people going to the gym. Like, I am lucky enough I have a gym that has 24-hour access, and it's still, there's days where I'm sitting in the parking lot going, there's 3 people in there. Do I want to go? I still go, but any tips on trying to get over body dysmorphia and the anxiety of going in to the gym, whether or not it's the first time or, like I've been going for about 6 months now, and it's getting easier, but it's still not the best. Any information? It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks for the call and the question, Jeremy. Appreciate it. New listener. Thank you so much for plugging into the show. So you're self-conscious about what other people being in there and like being around other people. I mean, one, you can get a home gym, but that's not for everyone. But being in the gym, seeing some people in there, recognizing that everyone's in there to better themselves. No one's really giving a shit about what other people are doing. All those 3 people in there are really just focused on themselves. So you can imagine that they're thinking the same thing about you. Like, oh, there's another person. I'm a little bit anxious. Right. So you can kind of like project that and imagine like people all have their insecurities. Another thing is there's really nothing to it but to do it. So whatever the reason is and the logic and the strategy and the therapy and things we can unpack, either you did it or you didn't. So everyone has their own thoughts. Every single person in there has ever gone to a gym has thoughts when they're in the gym and before and after and not feeling like it. So what, and again, either you do it or you don't. It's binary. You did or you didn't, whether you're happy, sad, anxious or not. Also, what you can do is just think about that micro habit. So you're sitting in the parking lot. It's like, okay, my next step, I'm just going to get out and walk 10 steps towards the gym. And then if I feel like turning around, you can turn around, right? And then you get there. It's like, all right, I'm just going to walk up to the door. I'm going to walk up to the door. I'm going to go in and just get on the treadmill and just do 10 minutes. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. You're a little anxious. Like I can walk in and just go on the treadmill. People are going to look at me and be like, oh my God, that's a dude on the treadmill. No one cares, right? So maybe just set gamify it for yourself a little bit and just set a little small goal, like psychological, like just getting to the front door. Because you're going to go to the front door and not go in? No, you're going to go to the front door, whether it's a Snap Fitness or whatever, 24-hour anytime fitness or something like that. Start those little tiny check marks, kind of like Mario Kart. You go around, you get one lap, you have little checkpoints or something like that. So bottom line, no one really cares and their feelings don't matter and their thoughts don't matter. And it's their thoughts and their opinions of you are none of your business. So when people don't like my content or they'll leave a comment or they'll stitch a video, I don't watch that stuff. So I'm sure I get tagged all the time on Instagram or on TikTok. For example, I put a lot of content out there. So think about it from my perspective too. I know a lot of people hate my fucking guts or they think they do. They probably don't. They just see one clip and they're like, oh, I don't like that guy. Well, I probably don't like you either. I don't know you. It doesn't matter. So whether they stitch or duet, I don't look at that stuff. I don't look at tags. I don't go like, oh, someone tagged me in a video. Let me go watch it. I don't care. People might stitch or duet. I don't watch any of that stuff. I post, I answer maybe a couple things in the comments, and I go on my way creating content for X or lifting myself or spending time with Mama Swole or, going back to my life. So if you think about it, I put so much content out there. The only reason I can is because my opinions are my opinions and other people's opinions on my opinions, they're their opinions. They're welcome to it. That's fine. They can have their own thoughts about what I say. I'm fine with it. I just can't live my life based on other people's opinions, and you can't either. So no one gives a shit. They're in their training. They're in there getting theirs. And just imagine there's a very good chance that they are concerned about the way other people look at them, but they did it. And if they did it, you can too. And you've done it before. Right? And you've done it before. So you said you've been training, you've been going. You did it before. So if you did it before, obviously you could do it again. So then do it again and do it again. And understand that meditation is so important. Mindfulness is so important. In the Swole fam, we practice brain gains in Swole Enormous X. But it's so important to recognize where these feelings come from. These are just emotions. And that feeling like the sweaty palms or the increased heart rate, all these things are just reactions that are linked to a trigger and linked to whatever's going on inside, whatever your thought process or really the habits that you've instilled and that you're repeating and that you're destined to keep on repeating if you don't overcome that. So pretty important to recognize that these are just physiological responses, but doesn't mean that they have any place in logic. Doesn't mean they have any root in logic. Because is it really logical? Think about that. Is it really logical what you're feeling? And some people say well, it doesn't have to be logical. Okay, well, life is logical. There's gravity. There's Earth's rotation. We live in a reality. We do have a reality. And the brain is not rational. It's not rational. And these feelings aren't rational. So it's important to recognize the silliness of it and understand that just because you're having these feelings doesn't mean that they're based in any reality or any kind of, any kind of solid ground. So just keep moving forward. Again, it's binary. You did or you didn't, and you're in the parking lot. So just take that next step. Literally turn off your car, get out, walk towards, block out the noise, wear a hat, headphones, start blocking out shit on social media. Make this part of your personality. Make it part of who you are and how you execute. You know, blinders on. It doesn't matter. Like, there are no people in the gym. Great. Fantastic. There's 3 people in the gym. Fantastic. You're in the gym now. Like, this is you. This is your game. You set the fucking rules. And all these things are a choice. You have a choice to lean into that emotion and snowball that shit, right? And feed into it and wind yourself up and just get yourself all up in a tizzy about it. Or you can watch that emotion, let it wash over you, take a few 5 or 10 deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Again, Brain Gains, check it out if you're a member, if you haven't jumped into the meditation yet. And then watch that emotion just disappear. Like, sit with it, focus on it. Like, your heart rate's up, you're nervous. Why the fuck am I nervous? Just breathe. Okay, that's a weird, my heart rate's up. Okay. Like, why, you know, when you start looking at these emotions head on, they don't make sense. Like, it usually just dissipates. And the reason is because a lot of people are just reactive in their life. So they react to their own emotions and they get stressed out about their own emotion and their own feelings. And they just work themselves up into this absolute, you know, catastrophe. So maybe listen to this part of the podcast, you know, the next time you go to the gym. Good call, good question. And we all have an ego, and part of that ego is giving a shit about what other people think. And that's a whole process. You know, you can go your entire life, and we all have an ego, but keeping that in mind can create that kind of moat or that shield, whereas other people's opinions don't fucking matter. So cutting out that negativity and changing your mindset around what you're doing and why you're doing it and the importance of other people's, because body dysmorphia is really what? In many ways, it's what you perceive other people to be looking at you. You're kind of judging yourself as if you're a different person. Like, you're criticizing yourself. You're self-conscious about yourself. We all have that to an extent. A lot of times people are bodybuilders that get into like pro bodybuilding because they never feel big enough, like bigorexia, right? You see that? Essentially body dysmorphia. Like, they never feel like they're big enough. And I had to overcome that too, because when I was bulking and I was getting bigger and I was the muscle guy, and around my friend group, you know, I was a guy with, you know, bigger muscles and stuff like that, but there's always someone bigger. There's always someone stronger or taller or faster, or whatever it is. So it becomes more of a challenge, you against you. And there's got to be a point where you shift your focus. This is why, for me personally, I've been really enjoying, and I talk about all the time, the clubs, the mace, the skills. The skills in fitness has been a very important change in my journey, because if it's only about getting bigger and bigger, there's a limit. There's a limit to how big you're going to get. And it's not necessarily it's not necessarily a wise pursuit, because that risk versus reward starts to change as you get older and, you know, keep on trying to put on more weight in the bar, more weight and more weight. Like, it just becomes just diminishing returns. You know, whether or not you can maybe deadlift 200 or 300 or 400, that's a big difference in overall strength, but 400 to 500, 500 to 600, 500 to 505, like, it's okay. It gets to the point where it's just not really, the risk isn't the reward isn't there for the risk. And not saying it's bad, but most people can relate to squats or deadlifts. It's just something to conceptualize. But shifting your approach to more mobility and to more skill-based training and maintaining strength, but improving mobility, that tempers and changes the risk reward. Practicing mobility now is more of a skill. It's a better pursuit. It's a long-term pursuit, and the benefits are amazing. And the risk drops tremendously when you're practicing mobility. So shifting, not that you don't train strength, not that you don't lift heavy, but when you shift that focus to more skills, it allows you to kind of detach from like trying to look a certain way. And that still takes time, because you might not have the same, like, I don't know, my arms might not be as big as they were. I don't measure them, but they might not be as big as they were in like a video I've done before. But I don't train the same way either. I don't do the same type of just standard bodybuilding type approach. So of course my body is going to be adapting differently. So you have to kind of use logic, but also understand that it might take time for you to fall in love with a different type of pursuit when it comes to your training approach. So I think that's also another benefit that doesn't really get discussed when it comes to yoga and mobility, that in my opinion, it helps with body dysmorphia because it shifts your pursuit from just the superficial outside, how you look, and it gives you a lot of challenges and passion and the feeling of just feeling better and feeling pain-free, et cetera, and shifts like the goal from always being superficial, aesthetic based into more like, hey, can I do this exercise with a fuller range of motion? I can reach a little bit further. I can X, Y, and Z when it comes to mobility. Just a different benefit that can be a benefit to an outcome from practicing skill-based training as you progress, or if you have a lot of issues with that. Not that you won't build muscle and you won't lose fat and you won't look better too. You might actually improve that. It might actually accelerate. So just some other additional thoughts. Definitely a side conversation when it came to your question, but hopefully you got some gems in there. Let's move on. Let's get into some balls deep content. Good shit.
That's deep.
Hopefully that made sense. Sometimes I go on these rants and afterwards I'm like, did that answer the question? So hopefully there was like points you could take from that. Sometimes I'm like, I hope that made sense. All right, let's get into the first story. This one's from Daily Mail. I don't know if this is legit or a troll or just one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my fucking life. The title is, should you save a dying stranger if you know they eat meat?
Matt Damon.
Oxford philosopher, controversially, you don't say, argues that it's ethical to let them die because of the suffering they cause to animals, and in parentheses, and he's not even a vegan. Okay.
Matt Damon.
So obviously this person's placing an argument. When you're a philosopher, you know, you're philosophizing. So you're literally just posing it. So you don't have to go hate this person, but he's posing the conversation like, is it worth saving, or should you save someone? And the answer is obviously fucking yes, because the value of a human life is objectively more than an animal. We are animals, but if you think that an animal's life is more valuable than a human, like, you're fundamentally fucked up in the head. Hands down. But I would save my dog over a stranger. That's really fucking weird. It's weird. And it's just disconnected from reality. Okay, so we are animals, yes, but objectively, a human life is worth more than an animal's. It just is. It just is. Consciousness is an amazing thing. A human being is much more valuable than a cow's life, or, I don't know, a turtle's life. So the weird thing here is that being a vegan kills billions of animals a year. Not just from the tilling of the crops and killing gophers and raccoons and all this shit, but the spraying of chemicals, of atrazine and glyphosate and all these other chemicals on genetically modified crops kills billions of animals a year. Billions of animals a year. So there's no difference. There's no difference. You're a vegan, but you drive a fucking car. You're killing animals somewhere. Somewhere you're killing the animals. Okay, circle of life. Animals are always dying. Species have always gone and will always continuously go extinct. You know, this is just, you know, come on. So this is very silly to equate a meat eater to someone who's not valuable in terms of like resuscitating. And this is not, again, my opinions on that. I'm not justifying eating farmed. I'm not saying farmed, concentrated feedlots. I'm not saying those are good. I'm not saying caged chickens and really grotesque conditions are good. all that. We always talk about how to avoid, avoiding those foods, avoiding corn and soy-free and sick animals. These are animals that are just slaughtered before they would die anyway from bacterial infections and inflammation. So I'm not saying that the food conditions from concentrated, feedlots where they're just, cows are standing in their own fucking shit and they're getting pumped full of antibiotics and X, Y, and Z. So I'm not saying that's good at all. So putting that aside, this is fucking stupid. Let's see. 2 commonly held beliefs. Let's look at this. First off, this guy looks like a super chode. He looks like he is a vegan. And go to the fucking gym, bro. Like, for real. Okay. Don't listen to anyone that doesn't go to the fucking gym. I don't trust you. I don't trust anyone that doesn't lift some fucking weights. The article reads or whatever. The first is human beings have a duty to rescue each other. These are 2 conflicting beliefs, I suppose. The first is human beings have a duty to rescue each other when doing so comes at a trivial cost. For example, jumping into a pond to save a drowning child, but ruining your clothes in the process. Oh, hold on a second. This guy's name is Dr. Plant? His name is Dr. Plant and he's not a vegan? What the actual fuck is going on? His name's Dr. Plant. The second belief Dr. Plant claims, Jesus. This guy looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. Is it wrong to eat meat because of the suffering animals can experience in factory farms? We already talked about factory farming is atrocious. Livestock like chickens can be kept in cramped, dirty conditions. So we're comparing this to like just shitty quality. You shouldn't be eating that kind of stuff anyway. Some people don't have a choice or the same type of choice or optionality that others do. He says this conflict leaves people who subscribe to the second belief in a morally interesting position if they encounter someone who eats meat drowning in a pond. Hold on a second. And that allowing them to die might in fact be the lesser evil. All right. Full stop. Pause. He's a philosopher. So before we jump down this chode's throat, he's not saying like, I wouldn't say someone. It's you're posing something in it's like a thought experiment. Okay. It's just a really bad one. So someone's drowning. Hello, you there. Help! I'm drowning. What did you have for lunch? Save me! I can't breathe. I can't breathe. What did you have for lunch? Yeah. So make sure if someone's drowning that you check to see if they had a turkey sandwich before you jump in there. And there's a picture of, a chicken's head in a cage. And is this the Wuhan lab right here? Is this? Oh, they're just okay. I thought that was the Wuhan lab. Let's see. Controversial ideas. I argue that, and look, when do philosophers get attention these days? They probably should get a lot more. But at the same time, you'll say controversial things to get attention, and it worked. It seems universally accepted that doing or allowing harm is permissible and may even be required when it is the lesser evil. He wrote this in the Journal of Controversial Ideas. Oh, nice. Let me jump on that. Oh, what are you reading over there? The Journal of Controversial Ideas. Oh, you don't say. You mean conversation? The Journal of Controversial Ideas. I wonder what we're going to find in here. Could it be controversial ideas? And things that people are just saying to make into a journal of controversial ideas? Ah, God, okay, let's read a little bit more. I argue that if meat eating is wrong on animal suffering grounds, then once we consider how much suffering might occur, it starts to seem plausible that saving strangers will be the greater evil than not rescuing them and is therefore not required at all. Dr. Plant Dr. Plant compares this to a pond scenario where instead of a child, a person sees a cruel dictator known for torturing their populace drowning. To save the dictator would allow them to continue inflicting suffering, so similar to a meat eater, allowing them to drown might be the lesser evil. Very, 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 holy shit. Very fucking different.
Matt Damon.
If I'm walking past a pond and just like Osama bin Laden's like in there like, I'm like, I'm late. I got a business meeting. Okay. If you know that there's a cruel dictator that tortures their populace and murders people, yeah, I probably wouldn't save them. I mean, in this theoretical, if I just happened to be walking past a pond and a cruel dictator was drowning, I might just be like, eh. Not to mention, a lot of times when people go out to save someone, they actually die themselves because people that are drowning don't know how to be saved. Like you're panicking, you pull the other person down. Like there's certain ways to try to navigate that, but it's not easy to drag someone out that's drowning. Like they're just dead weight and they're panicking. And yeah, all right, all right, let's leave this. Cool. That was fun. But obviously, look, I'm saying don't take it seriously because obviously it was written by a philosopher in a journal of controversial ideas. Take that very seriously. It's obviously designed to generate this kind of, but it's a thought experiment. And I get the point. But if you're trying to compare someone who is like objectively morally evil, it's a whole different conversation. You know, it's a whole different conversation. Oh my God, this person eats meat. Oh my God. You know, this person gets nutrition in their body. Oh, for shame. For shame. Yeah. This guy wears a fucking mask outside. I'm sure of it.
You lose. The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
But the title said, he's not even a vegan. How are you not a vegan? One, making that argument, and your name is Dr. Plant. Dr. Plant. Unless Bill Gates put him there, and he's like, he's a plant. He's a Dr. Plant. That sounds like sounds like something from like, what was the guy's name? Like the evil guy from like Crash Bandicoot. It's like, Dr. Plant. Like, my name is Dr. Plant. I'm going to take over the world with soy and atrazine. He jerks off with a condom on. Fuck yeah. Let's get a little America there. It's all right. Fuck yeah! I cannot wait to eat a steak. That just makes me want to eat steak more. Any of these like stupid chode videos and vegan shit just makes me want to go eat steak more. If anything, just because it hurts someone's feelings. And I'm not saying because I want to objectively, like, actively hurt people's feelings. But if you're stupid crybaby, it's like, kind of do. Kind of like, yeah, your feelings. Oh my God, it hurt someone's feelings. Totally fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, Stone. It's making the frogs gay. I need that soundboard. All right, pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. Let's go. 1, 2, or 3.
What's in the box? What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
Oh, we're doing that one last. There's always a video. There's always like one video that's okay. We can't do that first because the show will be over. Let's do this one. I'll start us off with let's do 1 or 2. 1 or 2. We're not doing number 3. We're doing last. Number 3, we're doing that last because it's titled "Teacher Says There Are Many Genders." Doing it last. We're doing it last.
Boys have a penis. Girls have a vagina.
We're doing it last. Let's go with Stone number 2. Stone number 2. Stone number 2.
You switch the samples.
All right, this one's titled "Doctors Are Fat Phobic." Come on, we know that already. Of course they are.
If you walk into a doctor with any medical concern...
Why is this person always in this folder? Oh my God. God, use your tongue when you talk. If you go to a doctor... Accent warning.
If you walk into a doctor with any medical concern, aside from I want to lose weight, and their advice to you is lose weight, then you need a new doctor.
A new doctor? Let me read that. So wait, if you walk into a doctor with any medical concern and they're, aside from I want to lose weight and their advice is to lose weight, understand that this is a doctor's way of, okay, they might have like 5 minutes because the system's fucked. So one, if you're going to a doctor, you probably have a condition that was created by poor lifestyle habits. So number one, you're looking at a doctor to be healthy. You're looking to a doctor to solve your problems. With medication, it's probably not a good idea. And I'm not saying, oh, Papa Swole, you're not a doctor. No, I'm not. Thank fucking God I'm not. If you're going to a doctor for medication, it's probably because the things you did that led you to that point were not good choices. So now you're looking for someone else to solve your problems with some sort of drug intervention that's going to mask the symptoms and not solve the actual root cause of the problem. So when the doctor, not having a lot of time because of insurance and malpractice and bullshit and pharmaceutical companies and blah, 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 inflation and all this other fuckery that goes on in the sick care system, they say you should lose weight. Translation, common sense. You need to change your lifestyle habits because you're too horizontal for your height. And it's fucking up your health. Oh my God, but I don't want to lose weight. No one asked you what you wanted. You go to a professional, whether or not they know what they're talking about, for their advice. You go to a mechanic shop and they're like, you need new shocks and an oil change and spark plugs. You're like, well, I don't want new spark plugs. They're like, do you want an engine that functions, eh? Do you want a fucking car that works? I don't want my oil changed. Then fuck off then. Why'd you come here? Then don't get your oil changed. Enjoy when your fucking engine seizes up. All right, this is 11 seconds in. I don't know how much I can handle. If I really get frustrated, we're going to cut it off, but let's see.
First of all, because weight isn't an indicator of health.
It is.
And second of all, you can't tell how a person's lost weight. And
what?
Many mechanisms of weight loss.
What?
You can't tell how a person's lost weight.
You can't tell how a person's lost weight? You can ask them.
And many mechanisms of weight loss are unhealthy, dangerous, often worse for you than the symptom that you were trying to reverse in the first place.
Doing dumb shit results in stupid prizes. Like doing shit wrong will lead to bad outcomes. Very perceptive. The IQ is, it's weak with this one, but it's...
The numbers decreasing on the scale does not mean that your cholesterol is also getting lower.
Cholesterol is not an accurate mechanism of overall health. So there's that too. Read a book.
You could be losing weight by eating an all-protein diet, which, by the way, can also really damage your kidneys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, protein damages your kidneys. Yeah, there's other reasons for that. There's other reasons for that. Protein doesn't damage your fucking kidneys. Eating shit quality food fucks up your goddamn kidneys. What century are you living in? Holy shit.
If your goal, for example, is to lower cholesterol, then you need to sit down with someone like a health at every size dietitian.
A health at every size dietitian, aka someone that's like, oh, your feelings, eat whatever you want as long as you feel good about it. There's no bad foods. Foods are not morally bad. Let me go to Captain Average to learn how to be mediocre. How do I put in effort, or how do I make myself feel like I'm putting in effort but get no results? Tell me. I need a coach. I need a dietitian. I need a professional to tell me how to feel like I'm doing something, but not really.
And go through what you eat and what kind of things that you can swap out and in to help lower your cholesterol.
Low cholesterol is not objectively good, nor is high cholesterol objectively bad.
And I say health at every size dietitian and not just a normal dietitian, because health at every size dietitians and healthcare professionals are people with a vested interest in treating people of all sizes.
They have a vested interest in grifting off victims and low self-esteem people that don't want to change, and lazy fucks. A health at every size dietitian is literally, I don't know, what's an equivalent of a health at every size dietitian? Like a mechanic shop that steals your catalytic converter? Or what? A bank that steals your money? I mean, I guess they do steal your money. I'm trying to think of it. What is it? What is it? A health at every size dietitian. What? I don't know. Doctors that inject you with experimental drugs because of a false narrative. What's another good example? What's a good analogy to a health at every size dietitian? I don't know, like a person that like a landscaping service that maybe dumps all the grass into your sewage line or something. Like they mow your lawn and then take all the grass shavings and like dump it on your front door or something. I don't know, like what? In other words, it's a worthless. It's like antithetical. I don't know. It's like a blind Air Force pilot. Anything else?
Constantly working on their anti-fat bias and medical fat phobia. And if you sit down with them and say, hey, I have a history of an eating disorder, but I need to make some active changes in my life to do things like lower my cholesterol, then they will be able to help you do that in a way that's not going to trigger you.
All right. Facts trigger these fucking pussies. That's not going to trigger you. Look, a way that's not going to trigger you. There's no way to get around triggering people. There's no way. When you're the victim, you're going to get triggered by something, by anything. And if you keep on nerfing the world, they're just going to get triggered easier and easier and easier. That's why you have students that are like suing and clamoring to get teachers fired because the class is too hard. It's too hard. Oh, get rid of this teacher. It's too challenging. They want to pay a lot of money for a bullshit fucking degree and learn absolutely nothing. Oh, it's too hard. Oh.
It is not good enough as a medical professional if somebody says to you, hey, my blood sugar is too high or my cholesterol is too high, for them just to turn around and say you need to lose weight. It is multifaceted. There is more to it.
There's absolutely more to it. It's all the lifestyle habits that you don't want to address. You don't hear that and be like, you should go to a health at every size dietitian. That is not going to help you. That's not going to help you. That's like going to the doctor and being like, all right, that's not going to help you. It's like you go to I'm going to use that. You go to the mechanic and you're like, hey, I hear a clunking noise in the right wheel well. And the guy just walks right up to you and just smashes you, kicks you right in the fucking nuts. It's not helping you at all. It's completely off. It's not even close to helping you.
Number of the scales on the scales is not enough because it's inaccurate. It's not a measurement of health.
It's an outcome of poor lifestyle habits, which absolutely it's definitely a component of health. It's abso-fucking-lutely a component of health. Is it the most accurate measurement? It's a result of poor lifestyle habits. It's a risk factor. It might not be a direct 100,000% correlation, but it's absolutely not because it's not because you're so healthy. It's not because you're such a healthy person and you do everything properly. That's definitely not what it's from. I do everything great and I'm, take care of my health. I've been doing this for a long time and you're just 500 fucking pounds. Yeah.
No medication except my fucking antidepressants.
Okay. Mama said stupid is, stupid does. Yeah.
My name's Forrest Gump.
Stupid is, stupid says. Health at every size. Look, when you say health at every size, diet, anything that comes after health at every size. A health at every size, I don't know, masseuse. A health at every size dietitian. A health at every size. Anything that comes after it is just like, because it doesn't exist. There is no such thing as health at every size. You can't be an adult female or male and be like 60 pounds and be healthy. If you're hardcore anorexic, you're not healthy either. So you're not healthy at every size. It's impossible to be healthy at every size. There are certain sizes where it's more optimal to be healthy. Or if you're healthy, you will be within a general size range. You're not going to be perfectly healthy and be obese. It's not going to happen. It won't, if you're healthy, it won't result in that. So you're like that, but I am healthy. You're not. You're not. That's literally what the fuck is going on. Hashtag Dick Draft. Hashtag Dick Draft.
You make me happy.
All right, Tainty Reprieve. Only the tainted man. Only the tainted man can. I love you, tainted boy. I love you, tainted man. I love you. I love you, tainted boy. I love you, tainted man. I love you, tainted boy. All right. The rendition. Serenade the taint. Always serenade the taint. All right, we got another video. We're just going to do this one first. This one is titled, Celebrating Twitter Takeover is Privileged. Celebrating Twitter takeover is privileged. I haven't seen this gunch in a while. I haven't seen her shitty face.
I'm seeing Elon Musk being celebrated for buying Twitter on lots of other social media platforms. Like
time is not on your side. Damn. What the fuck is going on? It's been, since we've last seen you, it's been rough. You've had a rough go. You're not getting better, are you?
Something to be celebrated, because taking Twitter down is going to be the only good thing he ever does. And
people are so fucking butthurt. Elon Musk is a certified genius, and he's done more for our world than most of these fucking leftist libtards want to admit. He's a very, 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 very smart dude. Like, it's objectively true. Oh my God. Okay.
I just want y'all to think about, like, the bit of privilege you have in saying that and celebrating that, because so many people, chronically ill people, people who are disabled, just anyone with marginalization can find a lot of community there and a lot of good social interaction.
What's the argument here? Okay, yeah, it's called the internet and social media. There's no problem here. By the way, Elon's not ruining Twitter. Okay? He's not ruining Twitter. Twitter was a cesspool of human fucking waste. So it was ruined. This is why he purchased it. There's a possibility that can actually be improved. It's not going to stop anyone from using it. What is this, like, fear that, like, what does anyone think is going to happen? Don't do illegal shit and you can post online. If anything, more people can have their opinions and not be banned. Like, no one's getting rid of anyone. No one's getting rid of disabled people on Twitter. What?
Twitter can be awful, but it can also be a great tool for socialization.
No shit.
And
cool.
Just finding community and support. And it's...
What's the point of this?
Not all bad. And yeah, I kind of just wanted to say that because we often ignore those groups of people, and they shouldn't be ignored. We shouldn't be ignored. Like,
what? Do we agree with her? Was she saying something that we agree with? I don't understand what that was for. What was that about? I don't get what the issue was. Like, who's stopping, like... Who's stopping handicapped people from... Like, I'm confused. I'm not going to play it again, but I don't... Celebrating the Twitter takeover is privilege. No, it's not. Because the takeover does not change anything. If anything, it makes it better. If you're in a wheelchair, you can still use Twitter. If you're fat, you can still use Twitter. This chick is winded when she writes a tweet. All right. Now, let's finish this off. I'm getting cranky a little bit. I'm getting cranky in my old age. Let's get a little tainty reprieve. Tainty man. Only the tainty man can. All right. Aww. All right. I must touch the taint. Very nice. Very nice and soft. All right. I don't even know what the point of that was. No one does. All right. This one's titled, Teacher Says There Are Many Genders. There are two. There are two. I hit this button all the time. I did it before. I'll do it again.
Boys have a penis. Girls have a vagina.
That's just sex. That's not gender. Your feelings are unnecessary. You can think you are whatever you want. No one, like, Halloween's over. Stop trying to write and pretend. Stop trying to garner attention just by saying that you're a cat. That's not a gender. You got a penis. You got a vagina. Very, very, very exceptionally small population has both. That's it. And that's it. You want to wear different clothes. You want to suck one thing. You want to insert something. This is what a free country does. Allows you to do whatever you want. You can call yourself these things, but objectively, no one is required. The problem is the requirement that everyone has to play in the same sandbox that you're pissing in. You could say whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't make it a reality, and people should not and will not be forced to subject themselves to your altered reality, to your land of make-believe, just to get love and attention because you weren't hugged enough as a child. Sorry to hear that, but it happens. Go lift some fucking weights. No one gives a fuck about your gender. No one cares. Go live your life. Stop projecting and trying to get followers online. This is not entertaining. It's not interesting. This is why all the movies, all the bullshit around it, fucking bombs, because no one cares. It's a small minority of people that are super loud and promoted and projected online. When you're fighting for 5-inch space on your phone, you can make 100 people seem like the entire world because that's all you see. Every company and everything is just eye fucking you with rainbows. I have nothing against gay, lesbian. Again, suck and fuck whatever you want. But stop patronizing people and shoving this stuff down people's throats. 95% of people don't give a tippany fuck. They don't care. They just fucking don't care. And you're creating animosity because people are aggressively not caring now. Like, people just don't give a shit. They want lower gas prices, right? They want affordable food. They want security and safety. Like, this is what people want in society. So no one cares about your desperate need for love and attention. We're not going to say the things that you want us to say just because, I don't know, again, you have trauma or whatever, your lived experience, and blah, blah, blah. All right. All right. There's that. There's that. So this one says, teacher says there are many genders. That was a rant before what we probably are going to experience, which would be a shitstorm. Let's see what we got here.
What's in the box?
Okay.
We could just ignore my hair, please.
Can't. Gonna pause you right there. Can't ignore your hair. We can just ignore my hair. If you don't know, she has dark hair. And yeah, holy fucking shit. It's like red, long fucking nails. The problem is, the title of this says, teacher says there are many genders. Stop. Don't get away from the fucking kids. You pedophiles, get away from the fucking children. Get away from the children. Say whatever the fuck you want. Do it behind your closed doors, in private. Stay away from other people's children. Because you're a sick fuck. You're a sick fucking person.
We could just ignore my hair, please.
Never. It's horrendous.
So today during class, one of my classes were just all over the place. They would not stop talking, and they always know how to get me.
Dick draft. Who's doing it? Who's doing it? No one?
I fart in your general direction.
Great Scott! We need a volunteer. We need a volunteer. You're not coming back from that.
Ask me questions about sex ed, and I'm sucked into your loophole. I don't even know if that's the right phrase.
It's not. Nothing that you've said so far is the right phrase.
But one student was like, do you believe that there's multiple genders, like in this country?
And the answer would be, this is not something that we discuss in the classroom, but I appreciate your question. Now go back to your finger painting. How old are these kids? I call bullshit on that.
That's fucking bullshit.
I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Are you wearing that to school? I really hope that this is an off day. You're not wearing whatever the fuck you're wearing to school. Now I want to say, like, call bullshit because this shit, like, okay, I mean, I believe that she probably started the conversation. You initiated. Kids don't initiate this shit. Kids will be like, how many genders do you think there are in it? How old are these kids? It depends on how old they are. But I guarantee there was some sort of initiation. Right? Either she's making it all up, or she planted something or said something or wore something or, primed the question. Put something out there so that would be the response or something like that.
But one student was like, do you believe that there's multiple genders, like in this country? And I said, yeah, I mean, depending on where you live, there could be no genders or there could be more than 3, depending.
Depending on where you live? What the fuck are you talking about? Depending on where you live. What, like San Francisco or Chicago or New York or LA? Like, depending on where you live like that? Depending on where you live, if you're over this latitude, there might be several. Depending on where you live? Portland?
Right. I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
This is getting good. This is juicy. I'm glad we saved it for last because I'm about to lose my fucking mind.
And I said, yeah, I mean, depending on where you live, there could be no genders or there could be more than 3, depending on your culture and your society. In our society, I do believe that there are...
Like Saudi Arabia? Depending on where you live, like that? Like that kind of society?
multiple genders. And he was like, I don't believe that because when you're born, they assign you boy or girl. And I said, yes,
they don't assign you anything. Stop saying it's assigned. Like the doctor's like, you're going to be a boy or a girl. How do you tell a dog is a male or a female? How come dogs have 2? No, humans, we just have all. No, you look between the legs. If you see a ball sack or a red rocket, that's a boy. I know because I see that tainty man right over there. He doesn't have his balls. So he's like half trans. He's got a dick. That's a male. Church is a female. You know why? Because she has a hole down there. She's got a puss. That's a female. It's very similar with humans. Just take a look. Take a look. This isn't high-level science, by the way. How old are your students? This is actually important. I'm curious. If you're like teaching 8th grade, okay, this is... What are her qualifications? I guarantee she's teaching like fucking 5-year-olds. There's no way she's qualified for any kind of like higher level. Not looking like that.
Based on your biological sex. And I said, yes, they do, based on assign you boy or girl. And I said, yes, they do, based on your biological sex. Gender is the ideas formed from society and culture that are attached to the sexes.
No, that's not true at all. Jesus Christ, that's not true. It's not, has nothing to do with culture. It's nothing to do with culture.
So then I asked him, what happens when a child is born and they're assigned non-binary?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Did I just hear that correctly? Oh, fuck.
What happens when a child is born and they're assigned non-binary?
What? I'm sorry, what?
I better use my strong hand.
What was that? What doctor assigns? I don't know. If your doctor, okay, this doesn't happen, by the way. If you're a doctor and you assign non-binary, you lose your medical license immediately. Immediately. You don't know what a boy is or a girl is. And obviously they do, which is even worse because then you have these sick, twisted ideologies in an objective scientific realm, which is why we have it's responsible for the major erosion of our society, because science is no longer objective truth. It's fucking opinions and narratives.
Non-binary. So I asked him what would happen if a child was born and they were assigned the gender being non-binary.
They're not.
And he had nothing to say.
Yo, go back to teaching them arithmetic. What are you teaching them? The fuck are these conversations with students? What the fuck? This never happened. I don't even remember having sex ed. Like, I don't even remember what we did for that. Never a teacher having these. That's fucking sick shit. That's fucking creepy. This is creepy. This sounds like a bunch of goddamn bullshit, by the way. It's ridiculous or it's complete bullshit.
Now, is it common? No. But there are kids that are assigned no gender or no strict box of a gender when they are born.
No strict box of a gender. Just look to see if they have a box. Where does this happen?
When I have children, they have a biological sex based on their body. I will not assign them a gender.
Something tells me you're never reproducing. As she proceeds to like fight to kill babies for abortion. When I have kids, okay, sure. Yeah. Your kids are fucked from the start. You're not going to assign them a gender. Make sure to raise them on soy milk too while you're at it.
They will learn and experience things that society says are only for certain genders. When they fully understand the idea of gender, different genders, how they feel about gender, then feel free, go off, go all out, balls to the wall, assign yourself a gender or don't. I don't care.
What?
But we cannot sit here and say there are only two genders in this country because that's what the model has been. We know that before Europeans came and stole all of this motherfucking land, that Native American tribes, not all of them, but some of them, did not adhere to these ideas of gender. So I asked him, where are you getting your information from? And he said, doctors. I said, that's interesting because gender doesn't have to do with the body. He was confused. So hopefully when we revisit this conversation during the gender lesson, he'll rethink his statement.
The gender lesson? Oh my God, you actually post this online? You better not have a job come Monday. Holy shit. The gender lesson? Are you teaching kids this in a fucking lesson? All right, I forget where this came from, but hopefully you don't have a job because you shouldn't. You are a fucking retard. And that's some sick pedophilic shit right there. These people get off on imprinting this shit onto vulnerable children. And this is another thing, right? When we have like elections coming up on Tuesday and everyone's like, get your friends, get everyone you know to vote. I don't think everyone should vote. That's the thing. I mean, everyone has the right to vote. People that are legally allowed or legally have the right. But man, this is the problem. We're in a lot of this situation because of everyone having the right to vote. People that are uneducated. That's a problem with social media. A lot of people, politics have become like a soap opera or a sitcom. It's become like a fucking running TV show, like a Netflix series. And people follow this stuff like they follow an influencer, and politicians become influencers and blah, blah, blah. So, this is like, it's like a fucking Halo game, red versus blue. And that's the problem, is that a lot of people are plugged in or have opinions and they're very uneducated. And I'm not just saying uneducated, I'm not saying you have to have like a college degree, because that doesn't mean you're educated, for God's sake, especially today. But they're ignorant to what these actual issues are and ignorant as to what would actually improve or help society. Like, they're just ignorant to it. And ignorant does not mean stupid. They just are not knowledgeable. They don't understand, and they're easily manipulated. And, it's just... Yeah, okay, we're going to go into overtime. Fam, we have overtime that starts right now, so head on over into the Daily Swole Telegram chat. Overtime for members. SwoleNormSX.com. Oh, can't wait to vote this. I can't wait to vote. DeSantis for the fucking win. Let's go, Florida. Let's go, Florida. He is going to fucking clean house. Oh, he's going to clean the fuck up. Clean up. America's governor right there. All right. Let's see. Let's get into today's Swole card. And you can shift on over into the Daily Swole Telegram chat. We got overtime starting right now. Falcon, take us away. Let's fucking go. Oh, we got a winner! Oh, the throwback, Mr. Eric Dean. Congratulations! All right, Dick Draft baby. All right, ED. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2373. Drop that in the body of the email, your address, and we will send you this amazing piggyback Pfeff Dick Draft card. Congratulations, fam. It's time. It's your first fucking card. This guy's been listening for like 19 years. Let's fucking go, Falcon. You picked a winner.
Don't forget to watch where the sun don't shine.
Fantastic. All right. So head on over to the Daily Swole Telegram chat. We got overtime going down right now. So join in over there. Oh my God, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Good time, great fun with the fam. Overtime starts right now inside Enormous X. And if you're a new member, log into your account right there on your homepage. You'll see all the Telegram chats go to the Daily Swole Telegram chat. Fantastic, fam.
Mr. Strickland.
That's right. Sean, that's right. It is No Nut November. Maybe it's Nuance Nut November. Like, you have to just nut strategically. Strategic nut. No Nut November. We're nutting every day here. Tainty Man.
I'd be the luckiest guy alive if that did it for me.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Set! Set! Set!
What happened to your queer party friends?
Fucking people.
I'm totally comfortable in my body. I just don't want to be in pain.
Come on, man.
Ever served in a forward area?
Loud noises!
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Yeah, buddy.
No more shenanigans, no more tomfoolery, no more ballyhoo.
No hands. Very nice. Fam-wise, we got it now. We got it now. It's time for
Finish him.
All right, fam, it is time for OT. Let's fucking go. Members, head on over to the Daily Swole Telegram chat, the Daily Swole Telegram chat. We are going live right now, so we'll see you all there. We'll be back here tomorrow for episode 2374, Swole Slut Saturday. We'll see you then. Fam, I will see you now inside the Telegram chat. We get started in like 2 minutes, so you have time to shift over. See you there, and everyone, thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow, and overtime starts right now. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, ya boy, Papa Swolio. Oh, 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 oh.
Hey.